Hi everybody, it's Christina from Pretty Distressed. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking this old piano and giving it some new life by adding some paint to it. I have been wanting to paint a piano for a very long time, and I finally found somebody who is willing to let me paint their piano. So if you want to see how I got this look, just keep watching. Today's video is sponsored by Jolie Paint. I'm going to be using their paint in Noir. I'm going to be using their black wax, using their brushes and their sandpaper. This piano is actually a client piece, and it's a really funny story about how all of this came about. So I will share that with you in the video today. So let's zoom in and we will get started. One more quick announcement. Jolie is going to be giving away one essentials kit to a lucky viewer. So check out the description box for details. This is the piano I'm going to be working on today. This is a Craigslist find that belongs to this beautiful couple right here. This is Alex and Spencer Combs. And the funny story about how this all came about is that we have a lot of mutual friends because we used to go to the same church in Minnesota, but I had never met Spencer and Alex before, but I follow them because Spencer is an amazing photographer. He's also an artist, and all the music you're hearing today is from one of his bands, Surfclub. He has also toured with country music star Russell Dickerson and done videos for him as well. He also had an opportunity to tour with the legend Garth Brooks after a chance meeting in his neighborhood. And let me let Garth just tell you a little bit about Spencer.
This is Spencer Combs right here. Spencer, you got the greatest attitude of anybody. Everything is great, man. Even when it's raining, it's fantastic that it's raining. This guy lifts everybody up on this tour.
The other half of this dynamic duo is Alex Masters Combs, and not only is she beautiful and has the most amazing head of hair I've ever seen, she's also an amazing mother. Alex is also a very talented songwriter and musician. You guys check out this track called California.
You left this earth before you took a breath. I dreamed of you here and how good it could have been. The first baby God gave to us, we didn't get you long, but it was long enough to fall in love and make me your mama. Oh, California.
Alex recorded this song to honor their first baby, California Combs, that they lost in 2016 to miscarriage, and she hopes it is a source of healing and strength for other families struggling with infertility or loss from miscarriage. As if you weren't impressed enough with this amazing couple, they actually have remodeled two gorgeous homes here in the Nashville area. This is their current home in Brentwood, Tennessee. They run their account with the Combs and share beautiful pics of their home and inspiration. And I was just so inspired by their work. I reached out to them when I knew I was moving to Nashville 2 years ago and said, hey, we should collab in some way. Well, life got in the way. I got super busy moving here. They had a baby. They were super busy as well, and it just never happened. But I was really surprised to see them last winter when they walked onto stage at my church with their two beautiful children to dedicate them. I had no idea that we even went to the same church, and I just had this really big stirring in my heart that I was supposed to complete a piece for them. So I reached out to them, and here we are today making over this piano. So now you know how we got to today. So let's get into this makeover. I'm going to start by sanding this down with my Jolie sanding pads. I'm using the medium one, which is the darker one, because this piece was really shiny. I just wanted to scuff it up a bit just to make sure that the paint was going to stick to it. It's a good idea to scuff sand like this when you have a really glossy piece so that you make sure you have a good surface for your paint to stick to. So next I'm just cleaning this off with soap and warm water like I always do before I start painting. This thing was really dirty. It had been in the garage since March because we were originally supposed to start this right before schools and everything got shut down. So it's been out here for quite a while. And as I was cleaning, I noticed that a lot of that stain was coming off in my paper towel. This is never a good thing. This means that you're going to have bleed through. And even though I was working with a dark color, I knew I was going to be using Noir. I just didn't want the finish to be affected in any way. So I decided it would be best to shellac and seal in that failing finish. So this is the clear shellac, and it's going to stop any stain bleed through. I know you guys have seen me use the bin shellac primer lately. That one is white. I'm not using that one today. I'm using the clear one because I'm going with a dark color. When you're doing a dark color, you want to use clear. If you're using a lighter color, you can feel free to use that white tinted primer that has shellac in it as well to stop bleed through. I like to use a chip brush to apply this just because I can throw it out when I'm done and they're really affordable. You could also put it on with a roller or a sock. It's going to dry down really shiny like this, and after about an hour it's going to be ready to coat with your paint. The color I'm using today is Jolie's Noir. It is their blackest black. I'm going to be applying it with my large signature brush. I'm also going to be using the artist brushes to get a little bit in the details. And I know what you're thinking, Christina, you always use this color. You have like 3 or 4 videos with it. Well, I love this color and the Combs chose it. And I know what else you're thinking. Black is a really boring color for a piano, but not this black that we're going to do. We're going to make this look so matte and gorgeous. It's not going to look like any piano that you've ever seen in a store or in your grandma's house. If you've seen me work with this before, you know that it goes on very blue like this, but it dries down very black and very matte and very flat. And I'm just putting this on in my traditional furniture painting method, which is going in every direction. And I chose to do that type of finish for this because it is going to give me a lot of coverage. I'm not going to distress it, but this finish was kind of like crackly. And so I didn't want to attempt to do a smooth finish on here because it just didn't speak to the piece. The piece was kind of dinged up a little bit, and whenever a piece has been well loved and is very old, I just find it looks better when you do this basic type of finish. Another important step when you're working with a piano is obviously protect the keys. The keys are ivory. You don't want to get any paint on them. You should be able to chip the paint off pretty easily if you get it on there, but I was just really cautious to try to not get anything on the keys because I didn't want to mess them up. And another thing that came in super handy are those small artist brushes that I showed you earlier. These are great for getting in the little details and in between the keys, which I'll show you later. So I think they're a great addition to your arsenal if you're thinking about refinishing a piano. And I know you typically see me use the small signature brush here on my channel, but I really loved working with this large one, especially on this piece because it has really big flat spaces and it helped me paint this a lot faster. I actually found it easier to paint this than a dresser. I know that's crazy because of how big it is, but it just went super fast. I let it dry about 2 hours in between coats, and then here I am putting on the second coat, and 2 coats was all I needed. And here's one of those small brushes again. It was perfect for getting in between the keys on those spots that I missed when these were all taped up. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit of a rule breaker today. I'm going to be sealing this with Jolie's Black Wax. I'll tell you why that's breaking a rule in a minute here. You could apply this with one of their wax brushes. I love their wax brushes, but I'm going to be applying it with a rag today. I just don't want to have to clean all that black wax out of my brush for the next time that I use it. So I'm just going to use these rags to save me a little bit of time with the cleanup. I'm just getting this directly on my Intex lint-free rag and rubbing this on the same way that I apply clear wax. So I'm just putting this on in a thin coat in every direction, really buffing it in and making sure that it's becoming one with the paint. And once I get all that wax on there, I'm going to take a shop towel and lightly rub over that just to get any of the excess off. So how am I being a rebel here? Well, typically people are going to tell you that you need to apply a clear wax before you add any type of colored wax. But in the case of working with a dark gray or a black, I love using a black wax just to even deepen the color more and really keep that matte, rich finish. I find when you put a clear on top, it looks pretty, don't get me wrong, because I've done that all over my house, but there's just something about adding a black wax to black that just makes it so rich and beautiful and matte. And knowing the design of the Combs' home, and when they said they wanted to paint this piece black, I knew I wanted to do this black wax on top.
That's our life. Tore my pants, started a band, playing bands, now we're sleeping in vans. That's my life. That's our life. And we're never gonna give it up. And we're never gonna turn it down. Yeah, we're never gonna give it up. Kiss off our legacy.
Okay, just to remind you what we started off with, here is the before, that brown failing finish, and here it is now inside its home. Oh my goodness, this transformation is stunning. This is truly the power of paint, you guys. This piece looks perfect in their home now. It just fits with all the decor and the style that they have. This is definitely going down in the books as one of my favorite pieces.
And we're never gonna turn it down. Yeah, we're never gonna give it up. Kiss off our legacy.
Thank you so much, Christina, for the amazing work you put into our piano. We absolutely love it.
We love it so much. It's so much fun having another piece in our home that allows all of us to create and express ourselves through it. And our little kiddos have already, in the past few days that it's been in our house, been playing it so much. We are just so thankful and so pumped on how it turned out.
Oh, it turned out
this
insane.
matte black finish is so cool and so
cool.
up our alley and our style and our vibe. And
Yeah,
so well.
music is such a huge part of our house, whether it's playing music in the kitchen or having instruments out and just all of us dancing, and it's just, it looks beautiful and it is so fun to have in here. So thank you so much, Christina.
We love it. Thank you, thank you.